Yes. So, hello everyone, and welcome to our security webinar. Have a record amount of attendees, it seems like today, so it's good to see that this webinar of ours is growing. For those who don't know, for the new people here, my name is Jordan, and be the moderator for the webinar today. Joined as usual by our resident expert Darius, and you'll be glad to know Torbjörn is back to handle our security briefing as our security specialist. I was going to wait a little bit longer, wait a few more seconds for the attendees to trickle in. We don't want them to miss out. So let's get a coffee and relax. There we go. Got a couple of stragglers coming in. That's my voice there. Is it loud? It's a bit early morning. Thursday? It's Thursday today. It is Thursday today, yeah. But now they're trickling in. It's good to let the suspense build. It's coming for our super fun stuff we have coming. Think should be a good start. Yeah. Have so many left of unregistered ones. So to introduce ourselves, for the new people, the repeating ones have a lot of information on us already, but we're FlashEye. We specialize in the Lidar software solutions out of the north of Sweden, based in founded in 2019. 14 developers, so a very agile, plucky team from the north of Sweden. But today is going to be a security webinar, but we can do many things with Lidar. But today we're going to focus a lot on the security side of things. And we're going to just introduce Lidar in just a brief overview, and then Darius is going to go do a deep dive and show off our sexy point clouds. And then Torbjörn will take over and actually show exactly what Lidar can do for security and show all the pain points that you kind of cringe through. In case you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm sure some people are probably quite new to Lidar and new to us also. So please do give us some questions. So this is what we do. Lidar software is what we use to give people the most accurate representation of the environment. And the way it does that in a nutshell would be to beam a laser onto a surface, measure how long it takes to get back millions of times until you get like a very accurate 3D map, and then repackage that, process that, and let you decide what you want to do with that data. We support multiple brands. You don't have to touch any code or anything. We do all of the heavy lifting for you. So the possibilities are pretty much endless. And that's our vision for Lidar, really. We want it to be accessible and available to everybody so that we can make the world a safer place in general. That's our ultimate goal, I would say. It's providing a safest environment in the workplace and out of the workplace so everyone can focus on the fun stuff they want to do at their job. Eliminate all the boring stuff or unnecessary stuff. And sharing knowledge with these webinars is one of the best ways we think we can do that, along with providing a flexible and modular solution. And we hope that you're gonna walk away with some new knowledge and excitement about this exciting new technology. And yeah, that's enough of me waffling now. I'm gonna give you to the brains of our operation, Darius.
Hello, Jordan, and thank you everyone to join our webinar. And today I will answer a couple of questions, and I'm pretty sure some of you knows those answers. They might be even better than myself, but and we want to keep this webinar informative for everyone with any kind of knowledge. That's why we start with the basics. So we will start to define or to explain what is a LiDAR in very easy words. We will compare LiDAR with some other technologies, and at the end we will bust some myths about the LiDAR. And as Jordan said, don't forget to write your questions in the chat so we can answer them at the end of the presentation. LiDAR technology, you can see there is so many manufacturers on the market creating those grid sensors, and in my opinion there is no single perfect LiDAR which can cover all the solutions. So every manufacturer has some specialities and some great features which they are focusing on, and there where our software actually shines, that you can put those great LiDARs with these great features into one place. But talking about the LiDARs, how they actually work, what is the LiDAR? It is an active sensor which emits the light, usually by laser diode, and measures the time until this laser beam will bounce to the object and get back to the sensor. You can see this representation on the bottom right corner of this slide, that emitting the basically photons and getting them back, calculating the time, and based on knowledge what is the velocity of the light in the air, basically it can calculate the distance. And those sensors, they are really robust. They can operate in harsh environment. They have different spectrum of range, from short range to long range sensors, but we used to say that up to 350 meters, of course, you can find LiDARs which will exceed this range much more, but this is what we used to say. This is like a range where we can be certain that you can get proper detection, proper notification, that the vibration and so on, all those kind of aspects considering we used to say 350. Various fields of use. There are LiDARs which are spinning 360 degrees, giving you measurements completely like around themselves. There are also like directional sensors with narrow or with wide field of view. Based on the project you are working with, based on your need, you can always pick from the market something which will help to solve your problem. Real-time data up to 240 Hertz, and sometimes you have fast processes, sometimes you want to do some calculations or create a 3D image of the object which is traveling with high velocity. Then also I was recently talking with some manufacturers of the lidars going up to 600 hertz. So absolutely, this is not a limitation for you. They are excellent during day and night. Basically, the light, ambient light, does not degrade performance at all, and you can get millions of points, measurement points every second. A couple of types of the LiDAR, just to understand. The simplest one is, as we call it, single beam LiDAR. Basically, this is like transmitter and receiver of the laser beam, and it counts the time. This is a sensor which you can find in those devices to measure the distances. If you are doing some reconstruction at your apartment or your house, and you don't want to go with this old school measurement tape, you can get this nice device which gives you the distance directly to the next wall. Then we have 2D LiDARs. Imagine taking the previous one, spinning around 360 degrees, and you trigger the measurement at known angle, and then from this known angle you can basically draw a plane, and those kind of sensors are super popular currently in robotic vacuum cleaners. As you can see, they are used to be installed in the vacuum cleaners for mapping, for obstacle avoidance, and so on. Then moving on, we have 3D LiDARs, which are again based on the similar technology as before, just having multiple of those beams distributed along different angles, and this gives you this three-dimensional perception, because you don't only have one single scan line, you have multiple from basically like 4, 8, 16 up to 128, and nowadays there is a work to introduce even more scan lines at some with some manufacturers. So this gives a lot of data. And then there is a fourth dimension introduced in some of the LiDARs, and in this case, fourth dimension is instant velocity per pixel per scan. So you are not only getting information about XYZ coordinate of every point, but also you are getting information with what velocity this point is traveling, which is super useful for automotive. You can get direct very useful information about surrounding, about what is happening around you or about the sensor in automotive scenarios, but also in security. This can be used immediately to detect any movement, to filter the movements by the velocity of them, and so on, without actually taking any processing load on your computer, which is doing this LiDAR data processing. And those four-dimensional LiDARs, they usually call frequency modulated continuous wave LiDARs because of the specifics how they operate. They send modulated wave of the light and then analyze what they are getting back and how this wave is deformed and so on. So a lot of calculations happening on those little devices. Jumping to the comparison with other technologies, usually you will see this comparison between LiDAR, radar, and the video. And don't get me wrong, all those three technologies are great on their own. They are great, even better working together. But since we are focusing today on the LiDAR, this is where actually all those negative aspects from the other technologies LiDAR will cover, which is very accurate measurements compared to radar and the video. LiDAR has outstanding precision. Managing bad visibility, this we can compare that radar can, of course, get data within very bad visibility with, of course, lower precision compared to the LiDAR, but the video analytics starts to struggle with visibility. Integrity for people, GDPR, this is a very important aspect of our surroundings. This also LiDAR have you covered in this aspect. You can recognize that there are people walking around, but you cannot pinpoint that this is person A, this is person B with name or with some specific data. Low maintenance, that's also something which is very important in the industry, and LiDAR have this low maintenance parameter in a very good level. Since this is active sensor, it emits the light, it receives the light which emits its own, and it can accept the dust on the sensor itself in a much better way than video cameras, for example. And of course, another great aspect is that by using a proper software, wink wink, flash eye software, you are getting this information. If the sensor is getting dirty, you are getting this information that hey, clean me up because I'm losing visibility. So even then you don't really need to stress about cleaning it, because you will get this in time, so you are safe to go. Metal and water reflection immunity. This is something which radar makes a lot of problems, actually, or have a lot of problems, where LiDAR, it is a light which have no problems with metal structure, have no problem with water interference. It can be installed on like telecommunication towers, does not have any struggle with those kind of environments, which makes it much better than the radar. And same thing with video. This is not a problem for the video cameras, although sometimes video cameras might get easily saturated with some reflections and so on. Cover large areas with few units. This is something which quite many people think that still LiDAR technology is pretty expensive if you compare unit cost for the LiDAR versus unit cost, for example, in camera CCTV world. But when you start thinking about entire installation, those costs are much lower for the LiDAR, actually, because you just need fewer units of the sensors, and then it is not based on the price, not only sensor price, but all the installation, all the mounting, putting the cables and so on. All this you have to consider. And going to the some myths, and as I said just a second ago, LiDAR is expensive, and first of all, it was a couple of years ago. Nowadays, the price of the LiDARs are dropping, and we see this tendency on the market that as more manufacturers are going in mass production, then the LiDAR price is going down. And the move in automotive industry, where LiDARs are installed in the vehicles, and there is a high demand for those sensors, and the production cost is dropping significantly, and the hardware cost basically will be lower and lower. And as I said, if you consider all the installation, all the cabling and installing and configuring, it is a very competitive price for the other technologies, giving you great advantages with the accuracy and all the other great features which LiDARs provides with themselves. LiDAR is complicated to be integrated. And again, some time ago, I would say, yes, this is really true, but we are changing this myth basically as we speak. We as a flash eye creating a software where You can integrate the LiDAR in a very easy steps and connect to your already existing alarm systems or VMS systems. You can stream the data, you can get alarms into those systems almost right away. And we are making this change. This is our basically priority, to make it as easy as possible. So everyone in the near future will be able to install it and get it up and running in no time. It requires specialized hardware, and that was motivated by extreme amount of data. And I would say, yes, those sensors create extreme amount of data, but if you have a smart way of processing this data and efficient way of processing this data, then the high-end hardware is not required anymore, because you have designed, or we have designed our software in a way that it makes this processing very, very efficient and very fast. And now I would like to give my mouse and keyboard and microphone to Torbjörn, which hopefully is with us online.
Yes, hello. So, thank you, Darius, for this technology introduction. And I'll introduce myself. My name is Torbjörn Halstensen. I'm from the security industry. I'm over 18 years working as a distributor and doing a lot of stuff and project with all various customers in the security in the different techniques. And seeing this, I've seen everything from optical sensors to CCTV and fiber optics alarms, and yeah, all you guys attending here have some experience from all of these different technologies. So the biggest issue we have in security industry, that is false alarms. And that is we live in different countries with various environment, and that gives challenges in more than one way. Using LiDAR, we reduce false alarms with a heavy percentage. It's very dangerous to say 100%, but by using laser, you get much more accurate classification of objects and people. So if you want to do intrusion alarms outside perimeter security, LiDAR is very, very effective on that. Second issue is no alarms. That is the worst one. The customer calls up and says, hey, we had the breakage here and no alarm went off. And that could be caused due to clogged up sensors or proper or change in the environment, snow buildup, or different different scenarios that makes the sensor not giving alarms. As Darius touched point, with the LiDAR, as it's an active sensor combined with many other techniques that are passive, you will have a self-monitoring feature of the sensor. So if it always say if it's clogged up, if it has the possibility to see and use the area of the distance it should detect. GDPR, that is a very interesting topic, especially in cameras, and with LiDAR you will most likely have a better solution that is not so GDPR sensitive, as we don't identify people or ethnicity or gender. You only see a person in points. And it's depending on the resolution of the sensor, of course, it could be very few points or it could be many points, but it's a very good option. It's also calibration on site. Everything, when you set up a LiDAR sensor and you have covered the area, it's very easy to do remote maintenance. You don't have to go out to move things around. We can test boxes digitally, and you can make everything work flawless from remote. So this also gives you a very high security, as LiDAR is not light dependent. It works independent of light and all the environment. So it gives you a high 24/7 security using laser technology. Something else that is by removing the false alarms and doing a better, what I would say, classification of objects. So it means you will, with more accuracy, tell the systems or the monitoring system that there is a person on site. It might not be a person, it is a person by using laser, and then verifying with camera. You will reduce the cost of personnel and you enhance the security. And that is explained that if you have an operator sitting in a monitoring station, they spend time on they get an event in, they look at, it's a camera, or another system triggering, they look at the camera and they try to see, maybe it was a deer, or maybe it was a rabbit that triggered it. Yeah, most likely it's dark, it was the right condition, it was windy, it was raining. The camera system decided to trigger, or the active IR barriers decided to trigger as all the scenarios were met, but they managed to see that this was nothing. This takes time. By using Lidar for classification and pre-alarm event handling, you will actually save money on personnel and increase the security. This is a typical railway crossing where we show what we do. You get the classification. You can have multiple classes, actually unlimited if you like, of person, cars, trucks, motorcycles, other objects. And with that, you will have the tracking, X, Y, Z, so you can run speed domes. We also have handover features, so if you have multiple speed domes in one site, as a LiDAR can cover up to up to 100,000 square meters or more, it will require more cameras to cover the same area, and then we will have a handover feature if you have several cameras. This is a typical example. We make a very determined perimeter area close to the railway tracks, and it's the same installation here. We have a box that is protecting kids or people for climbing the trains and getting fried by high voltage. So this is multiple features in one sensor. That is also something that differs from camera technology, where you have one camera often that does one specific thing, and then you need another camera to see beyond that. With a LiDAR sensor, you put one sensor, and everything from the sensor and out, the terminal of the resolution, you will cover. So you get a lot of square meters. So it's good for platforms, perimeter, and anti-sabotage, and all these different features where we are experiencing challenges with technology today. Detect abandoned objects. That is also something that is difficult. And using LiDAR, we have an abandoned object that could go as low as 3 centimeters. And if you put something that is black on a black surface, for example, a rainy day, normal technologies will struggle to detect it. But as laser is a measurement technology, not a vision technology, we will detect it as and trigger and set its lost and abandoned. We can also point a PTZ camera to that object in that case. So that gives you a high accuracy and safety of abandoned objects. This is the most interesting part. To the right, you see the LiDAR image. This is the LiDAR. It's sending all the data to a supreme system that controls a PTZ camera, tracking the object. We are following and classifying the object with the LiDAR. At the same time, we are displaying the objects. Here it is a person on a map. So we will have all 3 technologies to say, this is a person, we verify it is a person with the camera, and we see in real time where he is and where he's moving. So imagine if you cover the whole site with LiDAR, you will have continuously tracking in real time of all people, cars, objects moving in this map. The object you determine in the classification of the LiDAR system, of course. And this can be rule set, so we can point the camera at the newest, oldest, largest, smallest, timing, etc. We have many different ways to set up the rules for the cameras to follow. This is also something many of you are not from the Nordics, but here in the north we have winters, and detection in winter is hard. To the left, you have a person walking in the forest. It's a snowy day, very, very harsh condition. He is wearing a thermal suit and is hiding himself. Moving beside the trees in a full snowstorm, and to the right you see the detected object extracted from the environment and classified as a person. Distance is about 120 meters, I would say. And this gives you a little bit look how the technology works in our environment as well, because that's a hard one. Snow, darkness, and wind, that is a challenge for many security sensors, and that could cause false alarms, which costs a lot of money. Typical example today, we have a huge enhanced security situation in all the markets. So telecom, that is a typical installation where we fit in, where you can use LiDAR, often sitting in urban areas where it's hard with metal roofs, or non-urban areas where it's outside, it's a lot of animal, it's an open space. There you can use LiDAR to only react on persons. That makes it more efficient. We can also detect drones, and by using LiDAR for that, we set up sensors, we take the coordinate of the drone, and we point a good PTZ camera to it. So we use laser for detection and camera for verification. Then you will have 100% to see for the operator. So this is how it will look in the LiDAR. We only see the drone, but we will keep track on it with a high-speed PTZ or several PTZs. So I'm not saying that LiDAR solves every problem in the security market, but it's a really great tool, and to adding up on existing installations, existing systems, complementing to camera technology. Cameras are great, but cameras have some disadvantages that you could fix and using LiDARs. So that is together that will make a really nice solution for the customer that has the needs of high-end security. This is also a typical view how it looks. Here you see our office. This is a mapping. So you see the object inside the building. So which means you can cover inside and outside with real-time tracking of multiple persons. And that is actually quite useful, because then you can use LiDAR for anti-tailgating, people counting. You can see if you have 10 people on the access control and suddenly you have 11 people on site. That meaning somebody's there that shouldn't be there or has been let in by somebody else. So LiDAR can be used to enhance the security of both indoor and outside. And this is we showing typical, you're triggering, this was an area you were not supposed to go, you were allowed to walk around, but now you went inside. And here we see the person walking there, triggering the box. We also leave the trace, so you can see where the person or the objects came from. That is very useful to see if the person came from the right to the left, or from the forest, or from the road, depending on the intrusion and on the site. But this gives the operator of the security platform good information. So, questions? Do anyone have any questions today? see, I open my chat and see. Are there any training or maintenance considerations that users should be aware of when adapting to LiDAR systems? Training is always useful to know more about LiDAR. LiDAR is actually even more easy to work with than cameras because you don't have any not so many models to choose of. When you work with CCTV, you have hundreds of models of cameras that does everything you need. And but with LiDAR, you basically need 3 models, and that depends on the distance from the object. If you need a 32 line or a 64 line or 128 lines, that is the resolution of the sensor, and that determines how far away the sensor will be able to see. We can detect on much more longer distance than we can classify, so you can get an early detection, but we used to say that we have detection and we have classification. So we have 3 courses, of course. So if you join us on FlashEye/Academy, you will get all the knowledge to set up our system. And once you're trained, our typical installation of FlashEye is 15 minutes. Then you're up and running if you have seen the software before. How cost effective is implementing your LiDAR solution compared to traditional security system? That is the same to answer the question, how long is a string? That depends on where you cut it. But the correct answer is that LiDAR is cost effective as you cover. So if you have the good area outside that is open, you cover a lot of square meters. And depending on if you have an area that is small but difficult environment, you will get very accurate alarms, and that will also give you better economy, because when you're counting on technology, you need also to count in the price of false alarms and people on guarding tours and lost confidence, trust from the customer, etc. Another question: would a LiDAR setup need a lot of power for remote deployments? No. We can run on small industrial computers, fanless. So if you deploy such a computer with a LiDAR, we are about 60 watts, 60 to 80 watts, I would say. So our solution with our chosen LiDAR sensor is very, very energy effective for remote installations. You can run on solar power, fuel cells, etc. And let's see. Here's a question: if you have tamper alerts? Yes, we have tamper. So if you block the sensor and its field of view, it will automatically say that it is not able to detect and see the box that is being drawn in the software 50 meters away, but it just is blocked by a truck or something. So that is a very big difference from CCTV. So this is we have another one here. We are it's a question about what sensor we work with, and I would say we are a sensor independent manufacturer. So choose the best sensor for your application and talk to us. That is my advice there. Yeah, that was the questions today. I'll leave the word back to Jordan.
Thank you, Torbjörn and Darius, for a great presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it. Oh, we have a late question, actually. On this, who are our distributors in South Africa? I think I'll let I'll give it back to Torbjörn for this one. That's not exactly my area. If he's ready, I'm gonna give the
Yeah, the question if about distributor in Africa, that will be EMS systems. So if you want to get in touch with them, reach out to us and we'll help you to set up a meeting for you. No problems.
No problems. And yeah, I think that was our last question. Sorry for ignoring you there. Well, we didn't ignore you, just didn't say it. Just to clarify. But yeah, that's the key takeaway. We could start with LiDAR today. It's as easy as ever, as Darius was saying. It is not some niche, obscure sort of technology that's relegated to very niche research projects now. It's in iPhones and robotic vacuum cleaners these days. It's almost as easy as ABC and quite cheap to get started now. Hopefully with the flashlight solution also. And as you saw, the problems that you could solve before were very difficult to solve are a lot easier now. And that's going to be worth its weight in gold. And it's not just the actual solving of the problems, it's the peace of mind that gives. As Torbjörn was saying, imagine you're on a base, oh my gosh, someone has intruded on our property, or who is this, or what's the threat? And then you find out it's a rabbit. Right, that's you can breathe and just live easy. You don't have to worry about any calls at night because our solution is handling all of that for you. And we'll say we're not trying to just push our solution and get rid of all your stuff, throw it out, all the systems that you've spent a long time building. We want to complement your solution, your lifestyle, your working conditions, and optimize them for the better, and just make you more effective. So that was us, Flasheye, Jordan, Darius, and Torbjörn. You can contact us here at info@flasheye.se and LinkedIn, which I'm sure most of you are following us there already, but we have lots of updates there. And our website, www.flasheye.se, is where you can sign up to our future webinars, sign up for the training also, if you're interested in getting onto the LiDAR wave. And yes, thank you very much. Actually, it was very good to see that our attendees are climbing, and LiDAR is being more accepted in today's society. So thanks again, and see you in the next month or so for our next webinar. Bye-bye.